we want to wait? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I call this meeting to order. This is Diana Martinez from Mission SRO Collaborative. I'll be sitting in for Rosemary in her absence. Welcome to the San Francisco SRO Task Force, Thursday, May 17, 2018, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Welcome. All right, so we can go ahead and do a roll call. We'll go along the table and state who we are. And I shall start.
Angela Chu.
Raul Fernandez Vergasaba with the SRO Families United Collaborative.
Gilmore, SRO Collaborative.
Larry Kessler, Department of Public Health. Peter Keith, Deputy City Attorney, Legal Advisor.
Chad Buckdown, Mission Housing.
Welcome to the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing.
Jordan Davis, Tenant Representative.
Jennifer Chungju, Administrative Support.
Wonderful. And Diana Martinez, Mission SRO Collaborative. So next on the agenda item number 3, we do have approval of April meeting minutes. So we can take a few minutes to look over last month's meeting notes. And if there are any corrections, go ahead and let us know.
Actually, I did notice something, I think I remember from when we were doing the motion on the pass-through legislation that I think Cliff might have actually seconded it first before you did. I don't know who was first there.
It was close.
I just want to make sure it's accurate for the members of the public.
Okay. Okay, great.
I can listen to the audio again and make a change for that.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any other things we want to point out about the minutes from last month? Okay, it looks like there are no corrections so far. So, do we have an approval of last month's April minutes?
Sure, I'll motion to approve.
Any second?
Second.
All right, so I guess we'll just vote on an approval. Aye, raise your hand. If you do not approve, go ahead and raise your hand.
I wasn't here.
All right, fabulous. Any public comment? Being that there is none, we will go ahead and move on. There is a correction to the agenda. We wanted to have administrative announcements between agenda item 3 and 4. So we'll go ahead and move on to administrative announcements. If anyone has administrative announcements, now is the time to share.
I do.
Name for the record.
Name is Jordan Davis. For the record, the announcement I'd like to make is that the pass-through legislation that we signed on in support of last week is going before the Rules Committee in a special Friday session. It's going to be 10:30 a.m. room 250 City Hall. It's the board chambers. And also that the letter that we voted to send has been sent and added to the legislative file. And just that, in the future that I will be, and I hope everyone else can do this too, to track SRO related or just housing justice in general legislation that could have an impact on SROs and bring it to the task force for discussion, because we're supposed to be, one of our primary focuses is supposed to be making recommendations.
Great. Thank you. Are there any other administrative announcements? All right. And public comment? Being that there is none, we can move on to agenda item number 4, reports from the SRO collaboratives.
Okay. Raul Fernandez Arreozábal with the SRO Families United Collaborative. One quick update, last Thursday we completed our family leadership training. So we had about 32 participants and 29 graduated. The Carolina from the Office of Supervisor Ronan was present to offer the diplomas to our graduates. They're very excited about it, and we already saw some of the fruits of this leadership training. One of the trainees already developed a website where families living in SROs can put their stories out there. Then we went to a rally in City Hall. Some of them spoke in the podium to the supervisor. So we're already seeing the results of the training. That was exciting. It's going to be a busy summer, of course. We're going to have our Families Appreciation Day on July 24 in Golden Gate Park, and everybody is invited. We're also going to have our delivery of shoes and uniforms and school supplies for our families within the next month or so. So we're going to have our hands full with that.
Rob, I have a question. What are the sources for the school supplies and uniforms? Who are those
So
provided by?
for the shoes, it's a program based in Redwood City. It's called My New Red Shoes. So what they offer is a pair of brand new shoes and a $50 gift certificate for Old Navy for clothing. You can look them up online, or I can give you their contact info. As for the uniforms and the backpacks, those come from SFF, from the school district, from the San Francisco Unified School District, formerly known as FYIT. So that's where it comes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then from the SRO Collaborative, Chinatown SRO Collaborative, Angela Chu, I have to report that the bed bugs are still crawling around. Actually, we have the health department working with us on some buildings with bed bugs. The only problem comes, I think, is that somehow we haven't been able to completely get rid of bed bugs in the building after the treatment. I think most likely it's because once you take one unit and did the bed bug abatement, there are some other units in the building that has bed bugs that didn't get treated. So that's the big problem with it. So what happened is for the unit that got abatement, they stopped seeing bed bugs for a while, and afterwards the bed bug come back again. So I think there might be some other ways of looking at the bed bug issue again.
Thank you.
Clifford Gilmore, Central City SRO Collaborative. My report is that through our leadership program, we're doing a very intense voter registration, voter turnout for this June 5th election. Yeah, we're pretty proud of that effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And for Mission SRO Collaborative, we have hired a new case manager. In the beginning of April, the case manager left to go to graduate school, and now Mission Neighborhood Resource Center, our partner, has hired a new case manager to work with SRO tenants. His name is Omar Abreu, and he's still in training, but by June he will hopefully be ready to take on clients. So that's exciting for us. All right, any public comment on this agenda item? Being that there is none, we can move on to agenda item number 5, prioritization of future meeting topics. Oh. And I will announce the confirmed guest speaker for next meeting, which will be June 21st, Robert Collins, the director of the San Francisco Rent Board. So, yes.
All right, and I'll if nobody else wants, Jordan Davis for the record, if nobody else wants to, I'll just repeat some of the things I've been trying to say. Like, I'm trying to, like, look into, like, have, like, a presentation about the ins and outs of master leasing. I'm also, like, really looking into, like, the issue of subsidies in our master leased hotels, because it's inappropriate that, like, a lot of people who are getting less than $1,000 a month, a lot of formerly homeless people, are paying $500 flat rent. That's kind of an injustice right there, and we need to figure out, like, what the city can do to fund this. And I've already gotten into contact with James Kim's office. So, and another thing is, like, as you know, there's an election coming up, and I don't want to comment on anything other than the fact that there is a proposition on the ballot that, should it pass, could have an impact on SRO tenants. And pending the passage of this ballot initiative, I'm specifically talking about the one that gives universal representation. I would like to hear more about the, should it pass, like, like to have some people close to this initiative come and, like, speak on, like, what will implementation look like, and how we can best, like, make sure that SRO tenants get the benefits of the program. Now, that's pending, like I said, that is pending, like, the passage of this ballot proposition.
Great, thank you. Would anybody else, Chirag?
I actually have a question for the chair and possibly for Angela, and maybe for DBI. Have y'all been seeing an increase in bedbug cases over the past few months? Or has it been consistent?
Mm-hmm. As far as for the mission SROs, I haven't been getting reports of increases in bed bugs. It's been about the same amount of reports. Sometimes, since bed bugs is something that can easily come back and go away, sometimes tenants don't report that as much as other building code violations. But yeah, we haven't gotten an increase.
I can say for
more or less the same, but then tend to be, I think, recurring in some buildings.
I can say for homelessness and supportive housing that we haven't seen an increase. It's a kind of a steady, but small. If it happens, it's small.
So for the record, the three people that answered is Diana Martinez, Angela, and Wolfgang.
And as far as the Larry Kessler Public Health, we haven't seen any, we don't we don't analyze that data. When we get complaints, typically if the hotel manager doesn't deal with it well, people end up calling the health department to get involved. We haven't seen any kind of significant change in the quantity of complaints we're getting.
We've only a handful, but I was just wondering if it was anything anyone else has felt. But it could be one, honestly, just spreading into a few. And I've been hearing about it from some in a few non-SRO properties. It could just be an anomaly. I figured I'd ask.
Great. Any other comments on this agenda item? Being that there is none, we will see if there's public comment on this agenda item. Being that there is none, we can move to the next agenda item, number 6, general public comment. Being that there is none, we can go ahead and move to number 7, adjournment.
Okay.
So we will meet again next month, June 21st, at 9 a.m. here in the same building, in the same room. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.